We're about a minute away from starting game 2 of track 2 here at the Big O 2017. It's going to be a barn. We got two great teams lining up right now. First, I'm going to introduce 2x4 Boulder, Team Osom from Argentina, Buenos Aires. We are 203 Jonas, 100 Lucinda, 131 Boulder, 14 Mandarina, 26 Tropical Mechanical, 265 Osom, 28 Goose, Suelta, 35 Grisha, 45 Maki Lambara, 7 Washo, 8 Pop Pop, 81 Shore, 84 Persephone, and 99 Chinoski.
And coming out of Boulder, Colorado, Boulder County Bombers All-Stars. You're going to see 0815 by C1, number 10 Unprotected Lex, 117 Mussolini, 2020 X-Ray Vixen, 22 Speedo Bandito, number 3 Deputies, 316 Die Dawn, 40 Speedo Juice, 408 Bressica I'll Race You, 451 Dying of Fire.
And we're still on Jam 1, number 26, Tropical Mechanica jamming for 2x4. She is out lead jammer.
Still stuck in the pack. Boulder is unable to get their jammer free. That is fight C1.
Tropical Mechanica hits that solid steel 4 wall in back of Boulder. Trying to draw the muscle her way through. Goes right through the center there on the backstretch for a 5-point scoring pass.
Offense coming and bodies are hitting the floor, but their jammer is still unable to get free. She's taking the cap off and now has it in her hand.
She wondering, cycling back around with backstretch as Tropical Mechanica comes through on her second scoring pass. Pushing is a drive force of power. Sees 5C1 escape the pass.
Defense being set up, the offense is coming from 2x4. They swing and a miss. Jammers through and calls it off, but picks up another 5-point grand slam.
10 points all together, 2x4 drawing first blood. If you're using social media to blab about this event, use the hashtag BigO2017.
On the line, you're going to see 2020 X-Ray Vixen.
Against 265 Lulazano, 2x4. 4-on-4 in the back, no, in the box.
Both jammers engage the pack. And out first, Lulazano.
So Vision sees that bracing 3 wall swarming around her as they get out of turn 2. Lulazano now in scoring position, collides with every single Boulder County blocker.
Excellent push out on the inside line. They're going to force that jammer back. Both jammers now going back around the outside.
Because Big O 2017 is a great event, even recycle our jammers.
Strong defense being set up by 2x4, having a really good showing to get this game started.
With a pirouette at the bottom, Apex 265 moves on, gets through the first 5-point scoring pass to Jam.
Cut track being called. That's going to be on Tamus. He will spend 30 seconds in the penalty box.
Colorado Boulder trying to get their jammer out of the initial pass. Moves on, calls off, puts 3 more on the board. Boulder County scoreless, extending their lead out 18-0. 27 minutes to go in the first period.
Definitely 2x4 rollover came to play today. Next up on the line, you're going to see Ross Show going up against Deputies.
Boulder County 4-on-3 pack advantage as we pump back to the jam line.
Some excellent 3-wall brace being set up by 2x4. They have locked her down and she's barely made it 10 feet so far and glided out of bounds.
2x4 losing another blocker, but still that impenetrable solid steel 2-wall holding back Deputies.
Oh, and around and outside. They almost got off. Deputies did get kicked out of bounds and it's now stuck at the top of the apex.
Roscoe just flattened that turn one, bounces right back up. Tries to get through the center of the back, and Boulder County has their first lead jam of the game.
In hot pursuit though, both jammers are out of the pack. Ross Show is trying to catch up. Big pack advantage though for Boulder.
Deputy hits it hard, calls it off quick. Boulder County on the board, 3 points, holding Team Osom scoreless that jam.
Back out there for 2x4, number 26, Tropical McKenna.
Go with his 40s, Speedle, Speedle. Oh. Excuse me.
Pack evenly split with 3-on-3. Both jammers trying to go to the outside and both stop very quickly.
Tropical McKenna going toward the starboard, now trying to muscle their way up through the center. But Boulder doing a good job swarming around. The pack gets extended out, gotta let it go. Lead jammer 2x4.
Nice work in the back. They took out the jammer. They still have her basically stuck right at the pivot line. She's moving up very slowly into the apex. Great lockdown though by 2x4.
Danica sees an opening there on the back stretch, gets through 5-point scoring pass for Team Osom, and there is the initial pass made by Boulder County.
Yeah, Beetlejuice finally out of the pack. Defense being locked down. They do call it off, but pick up one more point. 2x4 continuing to push their lead up now at 24 points in this game.
The roller derby is a team sport, but sometimes you got to play it yourself, and that's why Castle Megastore is a sponsor of Big O 2017.
Team sport, I like that. Number 265, Luba Zahn out there for 2x4 and Feisty 1 for Boulder County Bombers.
Back, 5-on-5.
That was a nice tap out by Sauce on the outside line, but she got kicked out of bounds herself, and looks like a cut track is going to be called on the jammer. This is a power jam, first power jam in this game, and it's going to benefit Boulder.
Huge opportunity for Boulder County. Feisty 1 collides into that wall, getting a lot of help from her teammates that are off to the races. Everybody's trading numbers with everybody else.
Boulder brings in the offense to try to sweep to the end. Excellent work though. They have countered that offense, and it was really 5 points picked up by that jammer all on her own free will.
Luzon's out of the front end into the fire. Both jammers on the track. Star pass has been made right as the whistle blows. Feisty 1 scores 4 more points, 9 altogether on that jam. Chip it away at 2x4's lead, 24-12 now, with 22.5 minutes to go in the first period.
Up next, you're going to see 2020 X-Ray Vixen out on the line, going up against number 7, Rasho.
There's 2x4 starting with a 4-3 pack advantage this time.
Very interesting brace wall. They hold hands instead of arms. Get a little bit more extension and I guess a little leverage. Ooh, a nice move by X-Ray Vixen. She glided around the outside and just barely missed the big hit that was coming.
Rasho down low, got around at third. Here she is again. Scoring pass now for 2x4. She is lead jammer, recycling back around quick. Goes right up the inside. 5 points, 2x4.
Rasho is through, picks up 5 points. Still locked down in the pass. But X-Ray Vixen getting kicked out on the inside line.
Rasho's scoring pass number 2 hits a whole lot of Boulder County defense right there. They have her pinched down at the official timeout line.
And X-Ray Vixen right now up at the top of the apex, still trying to find our way through turn number 2. Really having a struggle, and even with offense, not having an easy time getting out of this pack.
Boulder County losing the blocker, thinning out the herd, helping Rasho get through for another 5-point scoring pass.
X-Ray Vixen still trying to get out of her on her initial pass, has made it to turn number 4, and basically worked her way all the way back around to where she started, but still not clear from the pack.
Rasho got through untouched, like she was skating through the mark for 5 points.
Well, you can't get married to that offense. If you get too locked in, you're going to miss when that jammer comes around.
They missed her this time. Boulder County just sandwiches Rasho there right before turn 1. And there is the initial pass for X-Ray Vixen.
And there comes the offense from 2x4. They're in there messing it all up. Looks like they got another 5 points put back up on the board. That's going to be 20 for Rasho in that jam.
Big O is brought to you in part by Rydell and the all-new Solaris. Solaris, the performance you demand, the comfort you've been missing. Thank you, Rydell Skates.
WT's out there for the Bombers and Tropical Mechanica for 2x4.
Boulder County starting to be 4-3 pack advantage.
Both jammers engage those walls. Both jammers having a real struggle to get through. Offense coming in up in the front, but it looks like a penalty, a forearm penalty is going to be picked up. And I believe, if my eyes don't deceive me, that is Maki Labara.
Good spin early there from Tropical Mechanica, getting through an initial pass now. Tiptoeing around the inside line, gets knocked in by 451 Dynafire.
Excellent defense being set up by both of these teams right now. These jammers having a real struggle trying to find a way through. Offense coming, but they weathered it incredibly well.
2x4 losing another blocker.
Excellent recycle work, and finally, number 3, WTs does get through.
Tropical Mechanica is still on scoring pass number 1. Oh! Kind of dirty hit there from 117. Mussolini calling off the jam. 2x4 puts 4 more on the board.
Does look like there was a penalty right there towards the end, a backwalk penalty. 4 more points were put up on the board. And we're going to see Louis Bazan out there for 2x4. And
number 40 Spiel Juice for Boulder County. Three back starting up front. Nope, student back.
Side front going to start there. Throw it reverse. Almost wish we had a beat side. Out.
Absolute big pile there at the front stretch, but Beetlejuice able to duck down low, escape out, followed by about half a lap by Luzon.
Well, that's a good call off. The opposing jammer from 2x4 was coming around very fast. She picked up no points, but also lost no points. Rasho on the line
against Feisty One. Osom with a 4-on-2 blocker advantage.
Both jammers engage that back. A little bit of offense coming. Feisty One trying to take that inside line. It was almost a photo finish, but
Rasho out front getting the lead. Feisty One behind her by an eyelash.
They're trying to pin everybody on that inside line, and she scooped in, picking up 1 point, but they also were allowed a point to be scored on them, so it is a push in that last jam.
So good fight there by Boulder County, going whistle to whistle, never letting up every single skater on that track. Yay.
We're going to see X-Ray Vixen out there for the Bombers.
Drop it over the of Team Osom.
Lucky James engage their wall. Mechanica trying to get through on the upside. She's at the pick line, really pushing that wall. They're having to recycle over and over to get in front of her.
Dropping the play, just muscles her way through at turn 2, getting out lead. Jammer do that for her.
Strong ball being laid down in turn number 3 by 2x4. They are not letting that jammer get out of that corner. She continues to move out and in and back again, now trying to force her way through the center.
There's a good hit by original Skanks for forcing that recycle. Coming back right now, has one to beat going, shoulder to shoulder, dive, darling.
Persephone, she came in there, opened up that hole, tried to get that jammer free. Ended up being a one-on-one, which made it very easy for her jammer to pick up those 5 points.
Track cut called on X-Ray Vixen right as she escapes the pack, so our jam opportunity for a 2x4.
Jammer comes in, hauls it off. After picking up 4 more points, it's going to give a great opportunity for 2x4 to start in a power jam. They'll send Lou Lazan out there all by herself. And as it looks now, they're going to start this jam on the pivot line.
Suffering from rink rash and Richardburn, Hot Mama's Wings is a proud annual sponsor of the Big O Tournament. Hot Mama's Wings serves wings, burgers, sandwiches, salad, and a full bar. It's located just 4 blocks away on 13th Avenue in Lawrence. Thank you, Hot Mama's Wings.
Mama. And we're off. Going up around the outside. Once again, that's Lou Lazan trying to fight her way through. She's got one last person to beat. A swoop, and she is out as you'll be jamming.
2x4 did a great job holding that goat in the pack, almost motionless. Now here comes the 2x4 jammer with the quickness. Out the back and forth. It sends the back out. Grand slam to Osom.
Well, that was great work by the defense. They stay back there. They let her do the work and push that pack out of play. Holy smokes! Looks like a low block call, and yes, it is. And X-Ray Vixen also picking up a penalty. And so that's going to give X-Ray Vixen an opportunity to get out of that pack.
4-point scoring pass for Lou Lazan, who is the lead jammer.
Two blockers will remain in the penalty box at the beginning of this next jam for 2x4. Rasho out there once again.
It was a 9-point jam for 2x4, which is 67 to 13. 12 minutes, 51 seconds remaining in the first period, and a team timeout call by Boulder County.
Well, they've been struggling to get some more points up on the board, and this early in the game, this is a good opportunity for them to stop, regroup, reassess, and get some momentum going back in their favor. Out of the track, you're going to see deputies in this next jam as you camera for the Bombers.
And then they said Rasho 2x4.
This is also a great opportunity for the Bombers to get their jammer free. They've got 2 opposing blockers in the penalty box, so they've got a pack advantage of 4-on-2.
Casa Brew Company is a proud sponsor of Emerald City Rotary and the Big O Tournament. Alright, so here we go. team timeout coming to an end. Still Aracho versus Deputies.
Offense came up, tried to hit it. No back was called for a second, but 2x4 glided that jammer out to the inside line. He's got to come back and start again. Cut track was called on a 2x4 player, and that gave a great opportunity for them to get their jammer out.
Deputies lead jammer coming around a scoring pass. And muscle her way passes. Last week it's knocked to the outside with a hop, skip, and a jump. There is number 7, Rasho, getting the initial pass.
Deputies is out. She picked up 5 points. They're waving around, so keep playing. Nice, great move on the outside. Rasho got low, picks up 4 points of her own. Looks like a back block penalty. That was picked up on Maki Lambera.
Great block there by 35 Gracia, just locking down the opposing jammer all over her like stink on a wrist guard before she got called off.
Spieljuice on the line for the Bombers.
Against 26, Tropical Mechanica of D-4.
Well, Jalen engaged that pack. Number 26 tries to go up the inside line and was met with opposition. That was number 451, Diana Fire.
Once and twice just flattening Tropical Mechanica, but that ain't gonna slow her down. Number 26 muscles her way through the pack, picking up the lead, jammer for 2x4.
Well, she did a great job. She shrugged it off, took the same pattern, jumped that apex, and now she's all the way back around and scoring position once again.
Boulder County has that rotating Triforce to power up and run it, trying to silence Tropicals. First scoring pass, Spears yet to escape the pack.
Number 26, Tropical Mechanica also out once again, picking up 5 more points. She's having a great day, scoring a ton for her team.
Jammer one, and she's out on her non-scoring pass.
Tries to get in, sends to the bench, goes ahead and calls it off after picking up 2 points for 2x4.
So we're down to just a little over 10 minutes left in this contest. So far it has been 2x4. It has been their game from the beginning. Boulder showing signs of offensive life here and there. Their defense has played pretty well. Certainly well within range of trying to reel this back in, but it would be nice for them to go into halftime with momentum on their side.
Feisty one sneaking between the Boulder County walls and the 2x4 gets knocked down to the ground by number 28. That's Juli Suelta. But Lula San is your lead jammer. Comes to the back of the pack, puts number 408 down. That's Brassica. Brassica taking her sweet time getting up.
Drops like a 3-foot putt.
And we got 2 jammer penalties. Both jammers going to the box. Feisty one is able to sit first. And the second jammer is now released, so
I didn't recognize the way he was signaling that. I'm not sure if that was a forearm block. Oh, look at that. Hello.
a big miss by unprotected Lex.
That's called that's called anti-locking brakes.
Oh, yeah, exactly. That's one of those kamikaze hits that you're like, you know what? I hope I hit her, and if I do, it's going to look amazing. If I don't, well, at least I tried.
That's
Feisty
right.
one trying to do one of her signature apex jumps on the inside of turn 2. Barely misses it with her left foot landing out of bounds. She gets recycled. Lula San finally struggling a little bit against the BCB wall, and both walls taking their time, doing really well, slowing everybody down. Feisty One, meanwhile, comes out finally on the inside of turn 2. She is awarded 4 points, returns to the back of the pack, tiptoes through the inside again, almost as if Dos por Cuatro didn't know she was there, and was awarded 4 points. And we have a tied jam, 12-12.
And I think that's just enough that Yasho says, you know what, let's take a timeout and talk about things. Although he does step to the inside of the track. I thought it was a team yeah, it is a team timeout. At least that's what they're signaling. He might just be having a conversation to make sure that he's understanding what's going to be called and what's not going to be called.
Oh, absolutely.
It's not an official review. But like with every game, you know, really when it comes down to officiating, I always feel like it's the 2 C's, control and consistency. You know, if you're going to let them play, which I don't disagree with, you know, if there's some of you know, we see games that get to be a little heavy in the forearms and stuff sometimes, but if it's going both ways and it's not dangerous to the game, and they want to let them play like that, then, you know, let them play. But sometimes the coaches have a hard time knowing what's going to be called.
Sure.
So they go out there, or maybe Yasho sees an inconsistency in the way it's being called, and he wants to be sure he can talk to his girls and get that fixed.
Yeah, you know, especially with the upper D1 teams, that they are heavy hitters, especially the taller jammers like, you know, Scald Eagle. You got Leah from Denver. A lot of those bigger jammers, they know how to hit hard. Phantom Menace. You know, a lot of those bigger jammers hit so hard that it's often like you see it as an inside pack ref, and you want to, like, deep down inside, you feel like you're supposed to call a penalty, but you have to take that moment to realize what exactly happened and make that decision.
Yep.
Next up for Boulder County 2020, that's X-Ray Vixen facing off against Rayo. Rayo stretching out Boulder County up front. Catastrophe was the last line of defense, and Rayo sneaks by on the inside of turn 2. She's the lead jammer. X-Ray Vixen knocking a couple people down, getting some help from Florida Beast. She's out for her non-scoring pass.
Oh, my.
And Rayo calls off the jam, 4 points to 0.
Does the cavalry come for her at the end of that pass as that 3-wall literally just kind of twists its way through to open up to part the seas for her? That was fantastic.
The Dos por Cuatro offense, switching from offense to offense, really has been the ultimate dominating force in this game.
Yeah, and it's one of the things that we talked about at the very beginning, because it's not necessarily a trend in the U.S. to do a lot of offensive blocking.
And not as many blockers. Usually you'll see a little bit of offense with 1, maybe 2 people. Dos por Cuatro is sending the entire cavalry out there and sending everybody.
Well, I think they do a very good job of playing to the situation. You know, so many times you talk about derby, you talk about practicing things that are going to be situational in games. And, you know, when you've got a power jam, there's no reason for 3 or 4 people to be hanging back, waiting for the defense to come out.
Yep.
And yet we see it all the time.
We do.
A 2x4 doesn't do that. They take that 30 seconds and they pound it through to get their jammer through.
Absolutely.
It's just kind of that attention to detail in both coaching and in playing that makes that difference.
So halfway through jam number 16, Deputies is your lead jammer. She's racked up some serious points. She's got 4 points to 2x4s, 8 currently. We currently have 1 blocker from each team in the penalty box. Deputies with a very powerful 3-wall containing her to the inside pack. Boulder County almost mimicking the exact same formation and holding the Dos por Cuatro jammer to the outside of turn 1. But Dos por Cuatro finally breaks out and scores another 4 points. So it looks like it'll be 12-6, Dos por Cuatro.
I tell you, things are shaping up in such a great way. I mean, this event here is so international. It's amazing. You know, we've got, I think, 4 continents represented.
Yeah.
You know, we're taking a look at the top 40 as it stands right now, and we're looking at a number of international teams that are going to be playing for all the marbles this year. You know, coming off a season where an Australian team was our victor.
Oh, yeah. And then also with this, you also have Pirate City that's here as well. They just got done with a fantastic run last week in Kalamazoo for K-Town Shakedown.
And won their first game this morning.
So Luluzon is out for lead jammer status. And Beetlejuice getting a little bit of offense from Florida Beast. Florida Beast laning against the Dos por Cuatro, going from out to in, playing a little bit of offense, but Beetlejuice keeps getting recycled.
Oh, nice assist. That was really smart. Beetlejuice gets up to the front as one of her blockers caught in the middle of trying to offensively block, lends a hand out and whips her around the outside of turn 4.
Luluzon got 5 points, re-entered the back of the pack, attacked a little too hard, gets called on a back block, power jam BCB. Beetlejuice has a lot of work to do right now to try and catch up, gets recycled out of turn 3, and Boulder County's done a fantastic job getting Dos por Cuatro split up into 2-4-2. Florida Beast out in front trying to give a little bit of assistance to Beetlejuice. Getting knocked in the inside of turn 2, she's through for 5 points.
I couldn't tell what the signal was, but got totally caught her with her backside, just dumped her to the inside.
BCB now facing off against the jammer, Luluzon, and they return immediately to the 3 blockers, 1 offense with Florida Beast up front helping Beetlejuice. Jam is called off. Beetlejuice awarded 2 points. Total of 9-7 that jam for Dos por Cuatro. Overall, not a whole lot of jammer penalties this game, which is going to be a deciding factor at the end of it as well. Rayo now taking the track against Feisty One, and this will be 4-3 pack advantage favor of Boulder County. Dos por Cuatro with a 3-wall on the front near the pivot line, but they have Feisty One solidly locked down with an excellent containment. Pivot losing her steps. She falls down to the ground. Feisty One's out for lead jammer. But Dos por Cuatro, that's Rayo. Rayo quickly on her tail. Feisty One's going to hit the wall and try and get a few points. Loses it. She gets trapped inside the walls. Rayo was out for 4 points. And Feisty One has been stuck inside of the walls.
Rasho got through there. I don't know how she found that small path that she got through. But yeah, Boulder kind of sleeping at the wheel as far as trying to call that jam off and prevent the points.
I'm not sure why Boulder didn't call off right there. That was an interesting moment.
I don't think she knew that she was coming. And obviously as a coach, it's very, very difficult, especially across the track, to get the attention of your jammer. You really look to your jammer to know what that vision is out on the track.
Yeah, and it's kind of hard in here because you have 2 tracks in the same building, so it gets a little loud in here. You know, with everybody cheering, all the refs, all the whistles, the announcers, it gets a little bit confusing sometimes. So the visual cues are very important to come from the bench. Jam number 19 underway. X-Ray Vixen has a star for Boulder County, and Tropical has the star for Dos por Cuatro. X-Ray Vixen with a little bit of miscommunication from Dos por Cuatro. X-Ray Vixen is your lead jammer. Tropical has been recycled by Catastrophe, and both jammers have re-entered the pack. Tropical has removed the star, and Catastrophe pushing her back. The 2x4 pivot for...
Yeah, we talked about it before. The pivot's usually either Cruella or Maki. And I have a feeling she's looking for Cruella. But with one to get by, she's going to put it back on.
And it looks like X-Ray Vixen has been called on the track cut. So we're going the full 2 minutes. And 2x4 has finally come out for the non-scoring pass to Tropical. Fast pack by both teams. 2x4 finally slowing things down. And with 2 to beat, she's going to stretch out Sauce all the way out to the front last line of defense. She's out for 5 points. X-Ray Vixen has returned to the track. So has the 2x4 pivot. That's Cruella. So we're back to full 5-on-5 action. And that will end with 5 points for X-Ray Vixen to 3 for Tropical. 8-5 jam, 2x4.
Yeah, unfortunately, you can't accommodate everybody, and we're going to get started here with the second half.
All right, so jam number 1 of period 2. Looks like we're starting with, Tropical and Feisty One. Tropical is your lead jammer. Feisty One with her fantastic footwork, tiptoeing on the inside of turn 3. She's out on her non-scoring pass. Huge inside jump from Tropical, trying to avoid a huge hit from Mussolini, and she's successful. Calls off the jam, 3-0, Tropical.
I tell you, that was a perfect example of Tropical Mechanica knowing exactly where the other jammer was. She never even turned around to look. She just called off the jam after she fell.
Yeah, fantastic jammer awareness.
So the tale of the game so far has really been 2 very good defenses playing up against each other, but probably the addition of offensive blocking into the regular scheme for Team 2x4 from Buenos Aires that has allowed them to put so many points up on the board and has really kind of stymied Boulder so far.
Sure. Jam number 2 underway. Lula-san is your lead jammer for 2x4. X-Ray Vixen is on Boulder County, but we have a 4-on-2 pack advantage for 2x4.
Oh.
As looks like the original Skankster and Brassica are in the penalty box. Brassica's standing, so we'll end the jam with a 0-0 jam, and remains a 4-on-2 pack advantage still for 2x4.
If you have the opportunity, mark the broadcast right at that last jam and watch Lula Zahn go through that by not only changing her body position, but being able to skate and turn her feet diagonally the way she does to cut through that pack. Even though she puts no points up, it was an amazing pass. Oh, Rasho, hello.
Rayo getting hit by the Colorado All-Star, Catastrophe. Knocked out of bounds, stretched Catastrophe back, stretched out the rest of the Boulder County wall, and dances to the outside, easily skating by. Rayo is your lead jammer. Meanwhile, Deputies is up front, getting a little bit of help from Catastrophe, but gets a little bit of a mix-up with Boulder County, knocks all the wall together, But Deputy still finds a way to come through on her non-scoring pass.
And Russia going to use the outside of that track to avoid the last blocker. She'll call it off before Boulder can put any points up on the board.
Rayo showing some explosive speed right there and agility. Once she re-entered the track from that hit from Catastrophe, she was able to sprint out the sideline like an Olympic track runner.
I tell you, man, that was like a blind pick in basketball that nobody calls out. She never saw that one coming.
I don't think she did. Speedlejuice coming back out against number 26, Tropical. Big pileup as Braska comes to the ground and knocking her jammer, Speedlejuice, to the ground as well.
Look at Mechanica keep those feet moving and then push to the inside, trying to pry some inside space.
Brassica and Dai holding really well together, rotating a strong three-wall up front. Fantastic work slowing down Tropical. Speedlejuice facing a similar incident in the back. The penalty box is actually clear right now, so both jammers facing a four-wall. And it looks like we kind of have almost of a stalemate in turn 2. Speedlejuice getting recycled, and Tropical is out for lead jammer status.
Yeah, through the officiating, we couldn't really tell what sprung her.
Tropical getting some offense from number 35, that's Cruella, knocking all 3 blockers of BCB out of her way. She's out for a 5-point grand slam.
Yeah, again, Cruella and number 45, Maki, that is pretty much their role. They pivot, and they are the ones that will switch from defense to offense most often to try to help their jammer.
Tropical coming back into the wall. 4-3 situation for BCB. Speedlejuice also returning to the wall, and the jam is called off 4-0 at the end. So a total of 9-0, 2-4. And that is 4 straight jams that 2-4 has shut out Boulder County. The jammers are just so explosive, so powerful that they are dominating everything the BCB defense can throw at them.
And the thing that's interesting is though this may be the best team in Argentina, Sailor City, who is also ranked in the top 30, I believe, is only a mere partial step behind them. And then we have 2 teams in Bogota, Colombia that are WFTDA that are right on the cusp. So South America is really representing.
Lulazan is your lead jammer, and Feisty One got a little tangled up, got a good pass to start pass to Catastrophe. Feisty One got called on a penalty as Catastrophe sneaks through. While everybody's looking at the outside pack refs, Catastrophe comes through for 4 points, and it looks like it'll be a 4-0 pass, a 4-3 pass in favor of Boulder County.
That is one of the very few communication breakdowns we have seen from 2x4 all day.
Yeah, everybody, as soon as they called the penalty on Feisty One, all of 2x4 really just looked around. Oh, huge juke on the inside. Rayo, lead jammer. She got up into Brassica and confused Brassica as she was trying to make a big hit. Brassica overshot, and Rayo's lead jammer. X-Ray Vixen to the inside of turn 4 and gets knocked out by number 45. That's Maki.
Russia with the shirt whip. She was actually tailing her own blocker, holding on to the jersey. They couldn't get her all the way through, but she battles and makes it on her own.
X-Ray Vixen got a penalty. I'm not sure exactly what it was called. So Rayo comes through. She's got 5-point grand slam. A lot of offense being played by 2x4 and clears the way, but she gets recycled. Rayo returning through. Brassica 1 to beat, And she comes through, beats Braska, 5-point grand slam. X-Ray Vixen has returned to the track, and it looks like she might play a little bit of jammer. Nope. Thought maybe she was going to play some jammer on jammer offense, but decided against it.
You know, and the one thing that is not going to happen to Dos por Cuatro is you're not going to find them running out of steam. This team, 2 weeks ago, down in Buenos Aires, when I got the call for them, they played 7 games in 3 days, and they didn't play any one of those games any less hard than the other. They are very, very physically, their physical fitness is exceptional.
It really is, and you can see it with the jammers too right now. They're dominating every BCB wall that they can face. And I think one thing is BCB's blockers are so used to scrimmaging and playing the taller Colorado-style blockers or jammers that they're not used to the height advantage that Dos por Cuatro really has against them. So right now we have a score 162-59, Dos por Cuatro. Looking at jammer penalties right now, you have X-Ray Vixen with 2, Feisty One with 1 for Boulder, and then Lulu San has 3 currently. So jammer penalties not really being a major issue for either team. Jam number 7, Deputies, returning against number 26, Tropical. And we have a full 5-on-5 action. Tropical dancing on the outside of number 451, that's Dinah Fire. Almost broke out for lead jammer, but gets recycled on an apex jump. Deputies up front, stretching out the Dos por Cuatro pack, and she's your lead jammer, but Tropical is quick on her tail. So we'll be off to the races. Coach Cotton Collinson calls for the Boulder defense, but the whole pack entirely is a fast pack. Boulder trying to slow things down and split up the pack, so they had to regroup together. The jam is called off, and it looks like it might be a 0-0.
If they get by without letting 2x4 score points, they're going to get lucky because that was another late call.
So Boulder County finally getting a 1-0. Lulasan returning against, looks like Speedlejuice. Yep, Speedlejuice. Speedlejuice taking the inside and Lula taking the outside. A lot of offense being played by Boulder County by number 10, Unprotected Lex. Unprotected Lex rejoins the pack, slows things. Speedlejuice stretches out the last 3 defenders from Dos por Cuatro, lead jammer status.
I think we got a cut track on 2x4. That's Lula Zahn again. I believe she's the only jammer that's been penalized from the team.
Boulder County offense, Unprotected Lex taking a couple of hits. She falls to the ground, leaving Speedlejuice to defend by herself. Offense from the outside, Speedlejuice sprinting to the inside. Gets caught by 2 Dos por Cuatro blockers, and she is recycled. She'll go all the way to the back. Lula San returning to the track. We are back to 5-on-5 action. A star pass by Lula, and this will be number 45, Maki Lombera.
Yep.
Speedlejuice. Oh, Speedlejuice. So Speedlejuice trapped behind the wall. Maki turning backwards on the inside of turn 3, skates backwards, gets 4 points. Speedlejuice getting 5 total.
Oh my goodness. The shake and bake coming in, freezing the pack, and then going through backwards through turns 3 and 4. That was spectacular. doesn't matter who does that. That's just cool.
Especially when you're going backwards into a turn with everybody on the track. Like, that's a scary moment for me even thinking about it, seriously.
That's why I sit here, my friend.
Boulder County lead jammer, that's Feisty One. And Rayo getting recycled twice, but finally finds a hole, and she's out for her non-scoring pass. Feisty One returning to the pack. 2x4 with a 3-blocker rotation with 1 offense. The offensive player returns to the main blocker group, and they're in a box formation up front. Mussolini stretching out with a bridge, and they knock out the 2x4 jammer. So everybody comes together. Feisty One comes through the front of the pack, 4 points.
I tell you, Feisty One, she literally toe stops on the tape. That was amazing. I honestly didn't think there was any way she was going to get through that because it was right in front of us. But she does a terrific job.
She's a triple threat as a jammer. Not only is she tall and can do those large steps on the the lines, but her apex jumps are phenomenal. She knows how to perfectly land them. But she can also switch to that blocker role and really fill in some big gaps. Jam is called off, 2 points to 0 at the end. And that'll be a 6-4 jam in favor of Boulder County.
Yeah, and I really don't think the point spread, we're looking at about a 100-point point spread right now. It doesn't reflect the kind of effort that Boulder County's defense has put into this, because the defense has really played quite well. It's just been the adjustment to trying to figure out the jammers of 2x4 as well as the offensive blocking style.
Jam number 10 underway, X-Ray Vixen and Tropical. Tropical is your lead jammer. We currently have Catastrophe in the penalty box, and Braska will join her. So 4-2 pack situation for 2x4. A spinning jump, 360 for Tropical on the inside of turn 2. She comes out for 5 points. X-Ray Vixen facing a strong 3-wall by 2x4 with a little bit of offense from number 14, Mandarina. Tropical comes through for 5 points. X-Ray Vixen getting knocked to the ground by Mandarina.
And again, it's just she keeps those feet moving.
Oh,
if she
X-Ray
can't go forward, she's going to go sideways. But we're going to, as you're about to say, we're going to get a power jam in favor of 2x4.
Yep. And X-Ray Vixen on her 3rd penalty, it looks like, getting called at the high block. And the jam was called off right as she sat down. So this will be a full 30 seconds to start of the jam with Geor, first time jamming tonight.
Yep. You're actually a very, very powerful jammer. Probably more the style of Tropical Mechanica. First time that she has jammed in this game.
Hitting the back of the BCB wall hard, knocking Catastrophe to the ground. She is out for lead jammer status, and that knockdown cost Catastrophe a track cut. Mussolini doing well up front to try and slow down Geor, but she comes out 5-point grand slam.
There was a nice job of her pushing the defender to the outside, then slipping her inside.
Yeah, I really thought Mussolini was going to be able to take a bigger hole right there and slow her down, but her speed and agility and explosiveness really allowed her to get through on the inside, with Mussolini not being able to move quick enough to that inside line.
Well, I think a lot of times people don't really think that much about your upper body movement, but it's so important. You need to be able to slip that shoulder on the inside of somebody, and that opens up holes, and I think that's what we're seeing.
X-Ray Vixen with a couple big hits, trying to get knocked to the inside. her agility with the toe stops allowed her to stay in, skates out. She was on her initial pass, but the jam got called off by Georg. 4 points to finish off for 2x4. 9-0 jam.
So we're looking at a score of 192-71. We've got 13-16 remaining. We'd like to give a shout out to Rydell Skates. The Big L is brought to you in part by Rydell and the all-new Solaris. Solaris, the performance you demand, the comfort you've been missing.
Jam 12 underway. Lula with deputies. Lulazon turning around Speedo Bandito, who's the next Lava City roller girl. A back block called on deputies. Power jam for Lula, pushing Speedo Bandito out, and she comes through for 5 points. Lulazon getting a lot of offense with, looks like Brassica stuck behind the 2x4 wall. Spread out just enough. Another 5-point grand slam. Offense by the 2x4 pivot, number 35, that is Cruella. A big hit by Demis, number 03. And now it'll be Florida Beanshine, and she stays in bounds.
She ran through the inside so hard she couldn't hold the inside line, and when she got outside, it looked like she was dead to rights. And she spun out of what would have been a pretty demolishing hit.
A lot of chaos and confusion happening on both teams, trying to play offense all at the same time, but Lulasan was able to take advantage of it. Comes through, 5-point grand slam. And again, as the refs call for a penalty, all the blockers look to the outside of the track and allows this huge gap for Lulasan to skate right through the center. Deputies is finally out on her non-scoring pass, and Lulasan calls off the jam.
That's a 26-point jam for Lulazan. And I'll tell you what, right there, if she pulls 3 or 4 jammer penalties, I think she just made up for it.
In period 2, Boulder County has only scored 15 points.
Well, and the other thing that we're starting to notice is I think as the point spread grows a little bit, is 2x4 is starting to use a little different jammer rotation, probably trying to save the legs
for the rest of the tournament.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, we've seen Yor out there. We've seen a couple other people. We've seen Lulazan take more jams. Rasho, Tropical Mechanica, are probably their 2 most staunch jammers. And though we've got Rasho out there right now.
Yeah, Mussolini trying to give some help to Speedlejuice, but Rayo comes out. She's the lead jammer. Speedlejuice with 1 to beat, number 45, that's Maki Lombera.
Yeah.
But Maki slows her down just long enough for her to get a little bit of assistance by Cruella.
Maki and Cruella are just like 2 utility players in baseball. They can play just about any role you need them to, and they do it well.
2x4 playing offense with Maki and Cruella coming back to hit the outside to in, but Speedlejuice was coming around fast for her non-scoring pass, or for her initial pass, excuse me, and she caught it and called off the jam. So that was a 1-0 jam, 2x4. Jam number 14 about to start. Tropical Mexicana and, Mesanica. I'll say that right eventually. And Feisty one for Boulder County. The penalty box is clear, so we're at full strength for this jam. Boulder County doing a fantastic job skating inside to out and sliding the entire blocking wall. instead of using a rotation system, they're actually doing a side surf left to right. Feisty One with 1 to beat. Feisty One's out for lead jammer. 2 Dos por Cuatro blockers have entered the penalty box. And Tropical is also out for her scoring pass.
Oh.
Feisty One getting hit hard. That's Bop Bop
Yeah.
to the inside of turn 3. She goes to her knees and calls off the jam from the ground.
Pop Up and Julia Swelta.
Lulasan and X-Ray Vixen will start jam number 15. X-Ray Vixen has struggled a lot in the second half as she has scored 0 points. Dos por Cuatro had a split pack situation with 2 blockers up front, 1 in the back. X-Ray Vixen had the advantage, but got recycled. However, Lulasan gets called on a track cut, so this will be a power jam for Boulder County Bombers.
Yeah, Lulasan probably the one that throws her body around the most, probably tries to throw the most misdirection as she comes up on the pack, but also is the one that is typically the most penalized of the jammers.
Maki Lombera playing a little bit of offense, trying to get her jammer out, but Catastrophe with a huge hit knocks her out of bounds. And X-Ray Vixen was not able to get out for lead jammer. A great penalty kill for Dos por Cuatro, as looks like Lulazan has returned to the track and she's fighting hard. Boulder County taking the front wall. Maki Lombera stretching out with the bridge. Lulazan losing her footing. She's out in front, but she's coming out of the box, so she will not get lead jammer status. X-Ray Vixen, meanwhile, finally breaks out. She is declared lead jammer. A forearm called on Lulazan. She'll return to the penalty box. So X-Ray Vixen now has a Grailed opportunity to take full advantage of and a redo of this power jam situation. Getting help from 451, that's Dinah Fire. Completely ineffective. She finally scores 4 points and calls off the jam.
And though we don't have the official penalty stats in front of us, I mean, the one thing that seems to be pretty clear is that 2x4 keeps her players on the track. I mean, Lulazan is probably the only one, and for the points she's put up on the board, you can't even fault her for the penalties that she's had. But it's generally speaking, we have not seen 2x4 down in blockers on that track, and most of the time all 4 of them are out there.
Well, crazy enough, from my tracker that I have, and this is all a guesstimate really from what I've seen and able to keep track of, Lulasan right now is sitting on 5 penalties.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I believe you had tracked her at 3 at the half, and she's had 2 or 3 more.
So it'll be really interesting to see if the Dos por Cuatro coach staff actually field her as a jammer for the rest of the game. They might put her in as a rotational blocker probably. Currently on a timeout, Dos por Cuatro. And we get a little bit of a jumping jacks from Coach
less
Chet.
than 100 points to go, or 100 points up. Well, actually now we're talking about 140 points.
And Dos por Cuatro is higher on the ranking stats, so I think they're going to have a little bit of fun mixing up the lines at the end of this game. Feisty One out now, starting with a power jam. A lot of help on the inside. She's got 1 to beat, number 45, Maki, and she is your lead jammer status. All blockers are on the track. Lulazon standing in the penalty box, and she's removed the panty cover. Boulder County with a 2-and-2 split wall, 1 to play offense, recycling 3 in the back to play defense against Lulazon. Feisty One gets hit out of bounds and turn 1 is recycled. Lulazon with an effective star pass to the pivot.
They're so good and crisp with it that half the time we don't even see it.
Yeah, it really. And even with these star passes, the star passes are so effective that like it confuses everybody on the line. Fantastic skills right there.
Where so many teams have a tendency to want to pass it over the top, they they come into
Absolutely.
the middle and they slide it into the center.
Oh, and a forearm called on Maki Lombera, so this will be a power jam again for Feisty One. And I believe that'll be the first penalty for Maki Lombera. Feisty One comes to the back of the pack and calls off the jam, but not soon enough. Maki Lombera, it looks like she will actually be cleared from the penalty box. So we'll start with a full 5-on-5 for the next jam.
Oh, okay.
Actually,
they're telling us Maki is fouled out. Of course, Maki has not jammed all that often, but she must have picked up enough fouls as a blocker. She's been replaced by Rasho.
Yeah. So announcers don't always keep the best stats, so for everybody watching at home and worldwide, we apologize for that. 2x4 lead jammer with number 7, that's Raggio. Mussolini is in the box. Raggio coming through. She calls off the jam as Deputies was not able to score any points. So a 3-0 jam, 2x4.
Rasho just gets low in turn number 4 and somehow cuts right up the center of the track, totally untouched.
2 minutes, 22 seconds left with a score of 228-88. 2x4. Tropical facing off again against Beetlejuice. It's like we've seen this matchup once or twice tonight already.
Yeah.
Tropical comes through the inside of turn 1. She's your lead jammer. Getting a little bit of offense from Speedo Bandito.
Oh,
she gets mixed into the wall, but gets called on a track cut, gets stuck on Speedo Bandito's legs as she re-entered the track. So power jam 2x4. Tropical coming into the inside of turn 3. Dai is stuck behind 2x4. She finally comes up to rejoin the BCB wall. A 4-4 wall. A lot of offense from inside to out as they reapproach the jammer line. A lot of rotation up front by Dai and Mussolini. She's stretching out the Boulder County blockers. Brassica trying her best to hold on and get some help from Speedo Bandito, but it's ineffective. 5 points awarded to Tropical. Beetlejuice has returned to the track as well. The pack stretched out greatly. Boulder County up front. Tropical beating Speedo Bandito. She's awarded another 5 points. And Beetlejuice returns to the penalty box. I wasn't sure what the call was. And a timeout call for 2x4.
They're going to call that with 23 seconds remaining.
24 24 points awarded on that last jam for 2x4.
I think Lula Zahn, prior to that, we had seen her pull about a 28-point jam. As in fact, she's stepping back out on the track right now for the final jam of this contest.
So the points for 2x4 are pretty consistent. 127 in the first half, 126 awarded in the second half. I'm sorry, 125 awarded so far in the second half. But Boulder County Jammers struggling really bad. They've only scored 22 points in period 2.
Well, I think you take a look at Boulder County, it's like we said before. This is actually, they've got the solid base for a very good team. They really play team defense pretty well. It's just going to be that adjustment against teams that are going to offensively block and them transitioning to a strategy that does the same thing.
Yeah, and coming from Colorado, I've seen Boulder County scrimmage. I've seen them play a lot of the Colorado teams. Their strategy is amazing. Their rotations are awesome. The teamwork is amazing. They really do have a solid team. And I'm not sure where exactly the breakdown is against this team from Argentina that has really just come out of nowhere this year and proven a dominant force in the WFTDA.
Well, I mean, yeah, and we have to realize and understand that this is the 19th best team in the WFTDA.
Yeah.
And so Boulder has got a heck of a contest against them.
They really do.
I mean, assuming that they're playing up to 19, and I think we can say they are, this isn't a bad game for Boulder. It's a great learning experience.
It really is a great learning experience. Boulder has fluctuated in the rankings. They've gone all the way up to, I believe 55 was the height of last year for them. And, they've come all the way down. I don't know exactly where they are currently, but, they've stayed pretty consistent with everything that they've done. They did lose one of their top jammers this year to Denver.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but we got something out on the track.
It looks like the pivot cover for 2x4.
The way it's balled up, it's hard to tell.
Lula Zahn is lead jammer for 2x4, and a star pass was conducted by Speedlejuice to Feisty One, but Feisty One just kind of taking her time, recycling to the outside of the track, and the final jam is called off 2-0, 2x4, ending that jam in 21-0.
Boulder can at least say they ran over their pivot cover. Left track marks on it. So once again, an unofficial final score, 273-88. We know that if it changes, it's not going to be by very much. That's 2x4's Team Osom as they take their win as the 19th ranked in the WFTDA. A great defensive fight by Boulder, but this game is going to come to an end. Everybody's going to go out there and run their hand slaps.
And some high fives.
And Jukes and I, well, we're just going to fade off into the distance for a little while and probably try to find something to eat, huh?
I'm going to find something to eat and get ready for the next game.
Yeah.
So thank you guys for watching live WFTDA. I'm Jukes Dukem.
I'm Bob Noxious. We want to thank you for tuning in. Don't go too far because the Big O has just gotten started.